Hi everyone, this is an example of a problem that could be on a IB math exam. So we have to consider this function. X can't be 0 because you can't divide by 0. We're going to sketch the graph with this given domain and range. And then we're going to also do these two with the calculator. And this problem is mainly a calculator type problem. So the first thing I want to do is use my graphing display calculator and input y1, my equation, and set up my window just like they gave us on the problem. So my domain was between -4 and 3. So you get a lot of points. You get a mark just for setting this up. All right. And I'll go ahead and put my range as 50 to 100. And then we'll go -50 because that's your range. And you can do your scale. I did it 5 here, but on the graph I'm doing it at 10. And then I graphed it. So the question asks you also and your minimum. So the first thing you need to know is, let me write the equation again, is y equals 27x squared minus 16x. Well, it's already here. So let's just look at it there. So basically that means x cannot be 0, or x squared can't be 0, so x cannot be 0. That means you have a vertical asymptote here. That means you can't cross this line. And it kind of shows you on the graph. On your 0, you just go to second trace and hit number 2. So this one is number 2. And then you have to do your left bound and right bound. And it'll give you that. So here's your 0 right in here. So that's going to help you graph it. And you don't cross the line. And it should be a smooth graph. And we have to stop at 3. You can't continue on. And we have to stop at 100. So it's probably better not to put arrows here, because it's restricted. All right, and then on the other side, we have our minimum value right here. The minimum, this would be, same thing, second trace. So you're doing this calculate here. That's number 3. You're also going to have to do left and right bound. And that's going to be -1.5 and 36. So if this was 10, 20, 30, 40. So just estimate it about right here. And then you're going up to 100. Again, make it nice and smooth. That's your minimum. So you go back up this way. And you have to stop at 4, -4. I'll just put a little dot there. You can probably look at your second, let me see, second graph. And we know at 3, it's -45. And at -4, let's see, at -4, it's at 65.69, or around 65-ish right there. So that's where you want to stop because of our restrictions. So that gives you 1 mark for a smooth curve, calculating the minimum and the maximum. And so let's write the coordinates down. So for your 0, that's going to be 1.19, comma 0. And then for your minimum, that was right, it's given right here, -1.5, comma, let's see what this is, 36. And that would be your graph. Okay, the next part, we have to do the tangent line to the graph. That means take the derivative. And they want you to do it at this point. So all you have to do is go to second trace. So it's the same thing. You're going to second trace, which is calculate, and hit number 6. When you do that, you're going to get another X here that's not right. So just type in -2, and then you're going to hit enter, and that gives you your derivative, which is the slope. So now we have the slope, and we have a point. So from there, you're just going to use your slope formula. Let's use our point slope form since they gave us a point. So this is going to be y minus 38.75 equals your slope, which is negative 9.25, x minus -2. So that's going to be plus 2. Now they want this in this form. So let's just write this out. And this would be negative 9.25x minus 18.5. Add 38.75 to both sides. So you'll get y equals negative 9.25x plus 20.25. All right. Now it says sketch the graph of the function on the same axis and then solve the equation. Again, this is all calculator. So basically, I'm going to graph this again. I had this point here. So I'm going to graph this and stop at 3. And what was 3 again? So at 3, we're at negative 45. So I'll stop it right about there. And then at negative 4, we were at 65 point something. So up in here somewhere. Just goes up a little there. So remember our minimum was negative 1.536. So just put that somewhere. We start at 100, get close to the axis, and it zooms back up. So this is our minimum right there. All right. Now they want us to graph this line. So basically, what they want you to do is graph the x and y intercepts. You can look at the table, but you can just set these to 0 and find your x-intercept and y-intercept. So when x is 0, when x is 0, y is 40. So let's put it about here. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So right there. And when x was 0, y is 40. And when y is 0, you're going to get 10x plus 40. So negative 40 equals 10x. So x equals negative 4. So when x is 0, we're at here. Now you're supposed to use a ruler on the IB exam. And we also are going to 3. Let's go ahead and plug in 3. So 10 times 3 plus 40 is 70. So let's go up to there. 50, 60, 70. You use a ruler and make sure you're in between negative 4 and 3. But on the IB exam, you have to use a ruler, which they'll provide. And then here's your intersection. So all you do is put the two equations in, and again, hit second, calculate. And what is that number? Second, calculate. You're going to do number 5 on this one. Hit number 5, and that's going to give you your intersection. And your intersection is at 68. I can't read that very well, so let's see, I wrote it down. Intersection is, intersection is going to be at 0.684, comma, 46.8. And that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.